what's up y'all, and welcome to another alternative factuals video. And today I'm going to be talking about Tandy, aka Dagger. I did a video about Cloak, which is going to be in the link down below as well as at the end of the video, and you're probably going to see a card pop up related to his video, but I'm going to do an explanation about her powers, and I'm going to do one about Mayhem as well. So I think I did one actually already a while back, but it wasn't that old, so I think that video is still relevant. But I'm going to get into Dagger's abilities, and if you like the videos and all that good stuff, before I get into anything else, please be sure to like, share, and of course subscribe, and let me know in the comments down below what you think about this video, about these topics, and about the show overall. And without further ado, let's kind of jump into it. So I'm going to do this based off a combination of the TV show as well as the comic books and information that we know about her, and I'm pretty sure for the most part we're going to get the same powers, just the way that she got them is a little different. But Tandy has access to, like I've said previously before in a couple other videos, the Lightforce, and as a result to the exposure to those chemicals in the TV show, Dagger is able to generate form of living light, which is, like I said, basically from the Lightforce, which comes from an alternate dimension, which I'm not really going to get too much into. But just to give you a diet kind of explanation, the Light Force is a name given to the force of energy that is a counterpart to the Dark Force. It's opposite in every way. Where the Dark Force is very corruptive, all-consuming, the Light Force energy is cleansing, and it comes from the life force of multiple people and just the overall life energy of, I would say, the dimension or universe that it's originating from in the first place. Now, because Tandy has this kind of human mutate due to the whole exposure to the chemicals, she produces a lot more life force or light force energy than normal humans do. So to give a basic explanation is that humans actually do have little possessions of light, and all of them, according to the Cloak and Dagger comics, of course. Light represents the life force energy, and because of this access to the light force that she has an abundance of it, meaning she has extra. So usually, let's say on a scale of 1 to 10, someone has about a 2 out of a 10 scale in terms of light force in them due to them just simply being alive. Well, Tandy, her abilities probably bumped it up to like about a 6 or 7, meaning she has an extra amount and she can kind of disperse that light and kind of manipulate it a lot more efficiently than anyone who's normal. Now, due to the fact that she has an extra abundance of power, if she goes more than a week or so without using her powers, she usually will become fevered and delirious, and eventually that energy will find some way, shape, or form to escape her body, and then that's kind of what regulates her body. So basically she has to kind of expend that power to some degree just because she has so much of it in her body in comparison to the regular person. The same way how Tyrone, when he has this hunger that comes from the Dark Force energy that consumes him, he has to somehow satisfy it. Tandy has the opposite, where she has extra and she has to disperse it, or it can cause her to physically be sick. Now, obviously, you already know she has the Light Force daggers, which are approximately about like 6 inches, and she can throw them from her fingertips, and she can throw multiple ones from her fingertips, and you know, she can just kind of do whatever she wants, and she has the ability to control their flight and reinforce them and seek targets, basically. So it's not just that her aim is like ridiculously pinpoint accurate, but it's just she's able to manipulate it so that way even after she throws it, she can redirect it or even guide it while it's mid-flight. So that's a little cool ability that she has with her light daggers. But here is what makes her extremely relevant in regards to season 2 and what she's capable of, especially with the people she's going to be encountering going forward for the rest of the series as a whole, however long they decide to do it. Now, this is an ability that is commonly known, or at least I guess acceptable in the comic book community, as Lightforce Detoxification. Now, Tandy's energy can be used to purge a person of like toxins, drugs, and other bad substances in their system, and it has a capacity to kind of cure certain people's addictions to certain drugs and all that good stuff. So basically, I'll give you an example. I like to give examples so people can understand what her power is capable of. So let's say you have someone who's really addicted to crack, for example. Crack was just happened to be the first thing that comes to my mind. Don't judge me. But let's say someone's addicted to crack for some odd reason, or you know, whatever life circumstances that causes them to be in that circumstance at the time when they run into her. She's capable of using her light, which will not only sober them up from the experience or the high that they're feeling, but also they will actually be able to, well, she will be actually able to purge them of that addiction, period. So this is someone who is, let's say, addicted to drugs for 20 years. She can purge them of 20 years of addiction simply by touching them and letting her light consume them and purge their body of that addiction. So basically, she can give them a reset on their life after they've had a lifetime of addiction if she chooses to do so. Now, like I stated probably like 45 seconds or a minute ago, sometimes Tandy can redirect the daggers after they've kind of ricocheted or after they've already been dispersed mid-air. She usually can manipulate them a lot better when they've already deflected off of something that is already not living. So inanimate objects like walls, bricks, anything like that, she can usually use it and ricochet it, so that way her light can like bounce around, and she can manipulate to that degree as well. But Tandy can also project her light into Cloak's dimension to feed his hunger, and she's also one of those people who can travel through his dimension, at least in the comic books, unharmed. So we've seen Cloak actually teleport a few people, and it doesn't seem like they were affected or anything like that. I know in the comic books as well, he's able to teleport people, and then for short periods of time, he's able to at least get them out of there without any damage done. But just in case you didn't know, if you're in Cloak's Dark Force dimension, eventually you'll start to feel cold, and your life force energy will be sucked out of you, simply because, like I said, his powers give him access to the Dark Force, which houses a being called the Predator. Now, one cool little feature that a lot of people don't really know about about Dagger, excuse me. A lot of features that people don't know about Dagger is simply the fact that because she's able to manipulate the light force, which is another way of saying life force, she actually can bring back people, at least bring people back from the dead. And it's very circumstantial. It's not like something that's consistent and something that can happen in any scenario, like someone who's been dead for like 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. But let's say someone's been dead for approximately about an hour, and let's say that their body decay is relatively low compared to, like I said, someone who's been dead for like 5+ years or anything like that. She actually can bring them back to life. If someone's just been recently killed, she can jumpstart their life force, and then their body can rejuvenate and come back to life, and she has been able to do that. Now, in terms of the TV show, if they're going to experiment with that, I'm not totally sure, because if you can bring people back to life, that's a pretty powerful ability to introduce into a show. I don't think I've seen any show between even the CW or even Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. where people come back to life at least so easily. There's usually a huge price for it. Like even when Coulson came back to life using the Kree blood, there was a price he had to pay for that, where basically for the most part he came back to life. He had to find a very certain it was basically to find like the monolith, and even the Inhumans, or basically the Terrigen Mist, where he had to find that chamber. I forget what season that was, but there was a price and a caveat for him coming back to life. But I'm pretty sure they're not going to explore that in the TV show. But I know in the comics she was able to bring people back to life, but like I said, it was very circumstantial, and it only was able to be done if they were dead for like short periods of time, like within the hour. But let me know what you think about Tandy's powers and abilities, and if you're new to the channel, please be sure to like, share, and of course subscribe, and leave a comment down below. And I hope to see you later on. Peace out.